Hi everyone, welcome to eVTOL Insights North America Conference 2026 in the wonderful facility that is the National Advanced Air Mobility Center of Excellence in Springfield, Ohio. Delighted to be joined by someone who needs no introduction in the advanced air mobility space, Rex Alexander from 5 Alpha. Great to have you with us, finally connected after all these years. How have you found the event so far?
Oh, the event's been good. Great discussion, a lot of industry leaders thinking outside of the box. It's a lot of times you go to these events and it's the same people saying the same thing. I would say in this case, we're seeing some new and innovative language being used and seeing progress. It's great to see the progress.
Awesome. And Rex, you're a very busy man as well. Before we got onto this interview as well, you're here, there and everywhere as well. Can you give us a bit of an idea of what's been going on with you in your world as well recently?
Oh, Lord. It's been interesting in the past year and a half. The advanced air mobility actually has kind of slowed down for me because no one wants to build infrastructure until we actually have an aircraft to prove the business case. So, but the traditional heliport market for me is off the charts booming. I've got 28 heliports in progress right now.
Wow.
I'm doing 11 projects in the state of Florida alone. That's where I just came from. On Monday, I was in Key West at the Dry Tortugas Island. So it's a 2-hour boat ride to get out there. But it was for a medevac heliport for the Coast Guard. And then the week before that actually was pretty important because we were doing the first draft revision for NFPA, National Fire Protection Association, 418 heliport and vertiports. That was first draft. We got through that, so that'll be out probably for public input in October.
Perfect.
And before that, I'm teaching at the Transportation Safety Institute the week before that in Oklahoma City, and Vertical Flight Society's next week.
Yes.
I'll be there all week for that, and then up to UVSI in Detroit.
So quite a busy schedule then as well, and I think I'd love to get your thoughts because I know we talked about it again leading up to the event as well. Love to get your thoughts the issue of the downwash outwash side of things. So can you share with our audience as well? That's a critical part, I think, of this ecosystem, and I know you've got some really interesting thoughts and insights to share if you don't mind.
No. So for those people that don't understand what downwash and outwash is, so when an aircraft such as a helicopter or an eVTOL flies through the air, it decelerates below what we refer to as effective translational lift, or ETL. Once that happens, which is between 16 and 24 knots, that column of air that was trailing the aircraft has now become a column of air coming straight down. That's the downwash. Once it impacts something that's a solid surface, whether it be the ground or a structure, it goes out 90 degrees. That's the outwash. It's always been there. Ever since Igor Sikorsky climbed on the first helicopter, we've had outwash and downwash. The challenge has been that over time, we've started building bigger and heavier helicopters. So a direct proportion to the downwash velocity is the weight of the aircraft and the size of the rotor. So as weight increases, downwash increases. As rotor decreases, downwash increases.
Oh, yeah.
Now, it was really the fatality that occurred in the UK with the S-92 from the Coast Guard landing. It was a rooftop hospital, and the downwash had actually entered a courtyard and was funneled through this one entrance. And unfortunately, someone was standing there and got picked up, thrown down, and died from a head injury. Here last year, we had another fatality, I'm afraid to say, was with a UH-60 Blackhawk in the Air Force in Japan. Now, the UK, to their credit, went and looked at all the hospitals in the UK to see if this was an issue at other places. And to their credit, they said, yes, this is a systemic issue that we have not paid nearly enough attention to. Australia, as well, did a retrospective analysis. I want to say it was a 5-year analysis, and I think they had like 12 incidents that they then looked at. Now, the key element between the U.S., UK, and Australia is in the United States, we fly smaller, lighter aircraft on a more occasion. Where in Australia, we're talking the Augusta 139, which max takeoff weight is just under 15,000 pounds. And then in the UK, the S-92 was just under 30,000 pounds. Most of the medium and light aircraft are probably below 9,000 that we use as EMS here in the U.S. So when we looked at it from the aspect of What's the issue? It's a multitude of items. Number one is the downwash and outwash are taking effect not just at the pad, but on the approach path and then under the departure path. The key is how far away is that? Now, the FAA in Engineering Brief 105 Alpha, when they published that, they actually came out with the downwash caution area, the DCA. And based on the downwash handbook, was originally from the military that the FAA then published, 34.5 miles an hour is the cutoff. Wow. So if you get to 34.5 or greater, you should have a DCA for that area that you see that's occurring.
Of course.
Now, the average helicopter that weighs in at about 7 to 10,000 pounds, based on rotor, of course, is going to produce that in certain situations. Now, the question then is, what tool do I have to actually figure that out? Now, I had a great conversation with, several great conversations with Pritchard over the UK, who's been doing a lot of the research for the UK Civil Aviation Authority, as well as Mike Price. Mike Price works for the UK CAA. Mike actually showed me a really cool tool that he's actually in the development stage, which allows for calculations that somebody that's running a vertiport or a heliport could actually use to calculate where this issue would be, and also takes into account wind. So it's in the development stage. Now, next week, we will have a workshop for Vertical Flight Society at Forum 82 in West Palm on Monday. It's a 2-hour forum. It'll be virtual as well. But in that forum, one of my good friends, Cliff Johnson from the FAA Technical Center, will be presenting some of the work that we've been working on together in conjunction with the Vertical Flight Society Safety Technology Focus Group, long term. One of the things we identified is we don't have data. And one of the reasons we don't have data is we never recorded it. So in that case, we've actually started working on a design criteria for a form to report this. So we have an actual reporting system.
Excellent. Well, wish you all the very best of luck with the Monday session as well, Rex. Always a pleasure talking to you as well. And thank you ever so much for your insights and for joining us today.
Appreciate it.
No problem.